Beep, 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 beep. Morning. How are we? Here we go again. Right, okay. What an extraordinary few days. In fact, what an extraordinary day yesterday. At least it was for Lucy Powell. Now, I'm going to move myself forward. Right. Could you believe? Let's not go there. All right. You all know what I'm talking about. Right. Now, come and be a warrior teacher. October will be the next start. All right. Come and be a warrior teacher. Come and join us. Either that or, buy me a coffee. The usual stuff. Good morning, everyone. Now, this is interesting. You'll have to follow with me, as they say with this one, because we're going to bob about a bit. But this is very, very interesting indeed. I noticed a tweet from a gentleman called John Armstrong. And he's on Twitter. Links, as usual, downstairs. He's on Twitter. And he's written a piece here which leads with the idea that what led UK universities to adopt unlawful trans policies based on a document drafted by Socialist Worker Party activists, one of whom argues that gender-critical women should not be invited to universities because they contaminate the space. Interesting. Now, he's then got a link here. Contamination risk justifies banning gender-critical speaker. Now, where I've been able to, I've got links from the Wayback Machine, so they're all downstairs in the Dubras. So you need to follow along from that perspective. So once you click on that link, contamination risk justifies, you go to this. Sorry, there. Contamination risk justifies banning gender-critical speakers. Report. Claimed by University of Essex law academics that anti-trans speakers could contaminate buildings branded misogyny by critics. So this was from December the 9th, 2020, written by one Jack Grove. Universities are entitled to cancel events involving gender-critical speakers because such talks could contaminate student life for hundreds, if not thousands of people. Extraordinary. Even if they do not attend the talk, a controversial new report by UK legal scholars argues, calling for UK universities to balance their duties between protecting free speech and preventing discrimination. A study by Dara Murray and Emily Jones, both senior lecturers at the University of Leicester School of Law and Human Rights, and barrister David Renton from Garden Court Chambers, states that neither duty overrides the other, but the institution should be wary of distress caused to trans students by events on campus. Painting a hypothetical situation in which a module or degree course in trans issues was housed in a particular department. Why is there even a module or degree course in trans issues? Just get bent. See, this is where all this nonsense comes from. So even with a situation in which a module or degree course in trans issues was housed in a particular department, and the university then insisted on using the same premises to host a gender-critical event, the report states that distress would be felt in the contamination of a part of the university, which holds a particularly emotional value to certain staffs and students. Jesus Christ on a bike. Right? In these circumstances, it is not realistic for a university to insist that the event must go ahead on the reasoning that students do not need to attend and cannot be offended if they do, it continues. Given how universities host events with external speakers in venues at the centre of a campus, posters advertising the events would also be visible to most or every member of a university community, including trans staff or students and their reporters, this report explains. In these circumstances, the hosting of an unwanted event would contaminate student life for hundreds, if not thousands of people, it concludes, suggesting cancellation would be both lawful and justified. Christ almighty. Let's go back. Let's go back, right? So when John asks that initial question, which you can see there on the screen, what led to UK universities to adopt trans policies based on Socialist Worker Party activists, the short answer, says John, is Athena Swan. The Athena Swan scheme. A slightly longer answer is summed up in this slide prepared by one university's EDI team, showing the history of their relationship with Stonewall. A similar process occurred at many universities. And then we've got this lovely chart there, a history of our Stonewall partnership, which takes Athena Swan from 2015 through to 2018-19, talking about how one university, King's, got involved and submitted to the Stonewall workplace. The Athena Swan scheme was originally designed to promote women's careers in science, but in 2015 it pivoted from women to gender, and institutions were required to consider trans issues as part of their Athena Swan submission. I mean, at that point, this is 2015 again, you see, Stonewall, involved, but certainly academia right at the heart of it. In 2015, Athena Swan was run by the Equalities Challenge Unit. They are now part of AdvanceHE. I don't know if Charlotte Gill's looking at AdvanceHE. I wonder if Charlotte is. As a result, AdvanceHE advice on trans inclusion effectively became part of the Athena Swan scheme. This advice contains the dodgy template document. Now then, there's a link to the dodgy template document. The dodgy template document. God. So if we open up the dodgy template document, what you get is this. Trans staff and students in higher education, revised in 2010, page 1 of 56. And this was written by Ellen Pugh, based on the Equality Challenge Unit's 2008 guidance by Julie Ashdown. And there you can see Seth Atkins, University and College Union, Paul Crofts, Darren Mooney, Harry Cole Weeks, Equality Challenge Unit. Welcome to comments and suggestions for future editions of this publication. Ellen Pugh, Senior Policy Advisor, info@ecu.ac.uk. And then you've got the whole thing about bullying and harassment and all the stuff that comes with it. So back to John. For example, the template document contains a statement: the curriculum be checked to ensure that it does not rely on or reinforce stereotypical assumptions about trans people. This is so totalitarian, it's unreal. This statement, among others, also derived from the document, was copied almost word for word into Sussex University's trans policy. After the harassment of Kathleen Stock, this policy was found by the Office of Students to limit free speech within the law. As a result, Sussex has been fined £585,000. Sussex University was not alone. This article notes that Cardiff, Imperial and Nottingham Trent have closely modelled their policies on the same template. Right? Again, another document. It's worth a read. This is really interesting stuff. Will British universities learn from the mistakes of Sussex? AdvanceHE's 2006 guidance on trans inclusion also directed universities to avoid collecting data on sex, recommending that wherever possible they collect data on gender identity instead. In 2021, AdvanceHE withdrew this part of the guidance. I'm calling it. I think that AdvanceHE needs looking at. I think their sticky fingers are all over this nonsense. I genuinely do. Who are they, I would like to ask AdvanceHE. Charlotte, where are you, my lovely? Charlotte Gill, maybe have a look at this. But who are they? There's something terribly wrong. Do you not think? Now go and read the rest and do the exploration. There's documents to look at there. There's things to see. Okay? Academia is at the root of this. Academia has always been at the root of this. I think what we've got is a situation where hard left Marxist and essentially nutjob lecturers have managed to get together with the unions and the usual suspects. But how that's happened, what the framework is, AdvanceHE, we need to take a very, very close look at them. So you go and have a look. Let me know what you think in the comments as usual. I know you will. And I'll see you later. Ta-da.